Yep, ready?
It's good. I think we're already live, so
Are we?
yes we are. Just got a notification from the phone.
That goes way faster than you think it would.
Yep.
To be honest. Okay, so I hope you people will be able, if you're ever gonna watch this, be able to hear us. We have the AC on in here, so there is a little bit of
It's very warm in the Netherlands at this moment.
yeah.
So,
If the buzz you're hearing is the AC unit, so we had to do it there, else we would just melt right now.
yeah, you would actually see us melt on the stream.
So we finally got a name.
Yep.
It's a miracle. We've been thinking about this for months and months, even long before we even started doing this or wanted to do this. And it's been absolute hell trying to figure out a name.
Yep.
But we did. So instead of pilot episode 1 and pilot 2, we're calling it the LAN Show. Lifestyle Adventure News Show. And well, I'm happy with the name.
Yep.
I think whatever we want to do with the show, whatever we want to do with the channel, I think it will fit, and I think we'll be able to do a lot with it. So, welcome to the first inaugural video of the
LAN Show.
LAN Show.
Yep.
So let me check something out.
So we've been filming all day for the channel since early this morning. We had I think we had quite a productive morning.
Yeah, we started at 10, and it's to 1:30, 1:40 actually.
Yeah.
And I think, well, like we said, it's productive, so...
Yeah, I think it was some good content.
Well, I hope it's some good content.
Yeah, well, I was behind the camera most of the time, so I pretty much saw what you are about to edit. So I think you have some good stuff to work on.
Well, that we can only hope. I'm really worried about the not so much about the quality. I think quality will be good, but the one video we did, I've been trying to figure out a way to do it for a while now, and I'm not sure the results will be all right of that. Like the test for the longboard. Basically, I've been planning on doing an entire series about bearings, longboard bearings, skateboard bearings, and we've been I've been having some issues to get that done as precisely as possible. And today during the test we swapped out old bearings, old stock bearings for newer newer aftermarket bearings. Yeah. And funnily enough, it didn't change. I think the results will be either exactly the same or slightly in favor of the stock bearings. And we do not understand why, because if we check the bearings physically, like we actually spin the wheel by hand, and we did that before and after we switched out the bearings,
the difference is huge.
The difference is huge. So we're either thinking that my body just catches too much wind, and if it's a gust of wind it will affect the outcome too much, so we might have to revisit if there's actually somebody going to be on the longboard itself, or we're just going to go with a bag of weight on it to get a little bit more momentum. And the location probably isn't the right location after all. I thought it was good enough, but apparently it's not. So that sucks, but we're going to post a video anyway and see the results of it.
Yeah.
After it's done, and we'll be
perhaps there will be a follow-up.
Well, there's definitely going to be a follow-up with a different location, with the same setup, but trying to minimize wind resistance, I guess.
Yep.
with the same bearings. And well, again, I'm still planning on doing the show with doing a series with all the different bearings and test if it works, have a baseline, see how much difference there is, if they're worse, if they're better than the baseline that we're going to use. We might also figure out if the wheels actually had a lot to do with it, because I didn't check, because the reason I'm doing this is because my girlfriend's longboard, she has been complaining for a long time now actually that she's so much slower than mine is on the stock bearings. So what we're hoping is that that was no longer the case when I swapped to the aftermarket ones. But I still feel like the data is not going to show that. So the plan was that after that we would do grab a base. Oh wait, what was I talking about? Oh, about the wheels.
Yeah.
If the wheels between my longboard and hers are different compounds, so that could have skewed into the fact that she was slower than me.
They are completely different.
I'm not sure. I didn't check.
I did. They look different.
No, they don't. The one's blue, the other is green. What?
I thought.
Did
they
you
looked
just
different.
check?
Yeah, I thought they looked different. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Another news is my ass is healing. My tailbone is actually better since the last LAN show we did, the Pilot 2.
Yeah, he's been complaining about it for weeks.
Of course, it was broken.
Daily, like 5 times a day.
But I can sit normally again. My knee that was also hurt in the accident of me falling down the stairs, actually feeling a little bit better this week. So I'm hoping that actually continues to improve.
It just needs time.
It does. It certainly does need time. So that's also new for this week. So I'm happy with that result. At least I hope I'm happy with that result. So another thing that, by the way, that might be obvious on this stream compared to the other is the lighting got way better.
Yep.
So we've been using one LED panel, and I was having a hard time getting it to look a little bit clearer, a little bit better. I think we're still being blown out a little bit by this one and that one. That's a little bit fine tweaking. I set it up.
Yeah, we need to tune the intensity of the lights.
Yeah, a little bit, and I might want to get 2 of these so we can match the intensity a little bit better because that one's a different brand and that one's a different brand.
Yep.
So we might want to change that up, but I really don't have money right now to get a second, a third panel. Like I don't think you can, if you want to make videos, you can have too many LED panels. Did you just?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Something. Yep.
Wait. Yeah, you continue talking. I'll check.
Yep.
But I don't think you can have too many.
I think his girlfriend just came home. Yeah, we need to find a topic list because I don't think I've kept a list. Normally I keep a list of things I want to talk about during the show. I think we're going to talk a little bit, of course, about Formula 1, not as long as the other time, but we're definitely going to talk about it because we had the British Grand Prix in between the shows, and I think also the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm not sure if we missed that last time around, but that was a pretty interesting race to watch. Probably going to talk about EVE Online. They turned off local chat in nullsec space, so that's an interesting topic to talk about. And what else? We'll have to think about it. We'll have to just do it off the cuff this time around.
So what did you say to the people who will never watch this?
I said we're gonna have to come up with a topic list on the go today. Because I haven't prepared anything. So I said we'll talk about Formula 1 for a bit. not as long as last time. Probably even line, because that's interesting with the local chat blackout.
Now, if it's interesting for the people we don't know, but we find it interesting.
We find it interesting. So we'll talk about that. And yeah, what else?
Well, let's go Formula One, because it's been.
Yeah, I think we missed the Austrian Grand Prix and the British Grand Prix in between the shows. So Verstappen, of course, won
Austria.
the Austrian Grand Prix in a pretty spectacular way, and it was very interesting to see that all the cars basically had lots of cooling problems, lots and lots of cooling problems. Couldn't go all out, but the Red Bull could, and Red Bull was really fast around the track, because he had a bad start. He had a terrible start, actually.
Terrible start. Dropped all the way down to
all
8.
the way 7th, I think.
Oh,
I think 7th.
Ah.
Dropped all the way back to 7th, and then led a charge back towards the front. But you could really see that neither the Mercedes nor the Ferrari were any match for the Red Bull. So apparently they have their cooling down a lot better. They did their homework for cooling a lot better than other teams did.
Oh, interesting news. Which actually just came in, like 45 minutes ago. Netflix just announced that the Netflix documentary Drive to Survive is extended for another season.
Yep.
So.
And I think it was announced earlier that they finally have access to Ferrari and Mercedes, which would make.
Who gives a shit about
Mercedes?
Mercedes?
It would make it would make it a lot more interesting, because you basically follow all teams except the top 2 teams, which I don't know. It's good that they finally had access. Also, I don't really see why they wouldn't, because it's their sponsors are in a Netflix documentary for a longer period of time. They might give away a lot less than the small teams will, but at least they will be in the show. But it was an interesting documentary to watch, and especially it was very funny to watch Günther Steiner from Haas talk.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The man knows a lot of swear words, which is very funny.
So yeah, back to the Austrian Grand Prix. I actually wasn't able to watch it because I just forgot. No, I was at work.
You didn't watch it back?
No, I was at my no, I actually didn't. No, I can, but I didn't. I don't know why. So I just got a small recap, and not much. It looks like whoever is driving Verstappen's car, so if it's Verstappen himself, he seems to be by far the best driver on the field. It's just that his car normally just cannot compete with the others, with the Mercedes and the Ferraris.
I don't know about that, but
no, on Austria he could, but it like the fact that he at the overtakes I saw he did so effortlessly. I saw an interview. Who was it? Who was doing that interview? It was Sky that did the interview, but I don't know who was doing the interview anymore. But I know it wasn't British, so it has to have been Sky because it was actual British.
probably Brundle.
I don't remember.
Anyway.
No, they were saying that probably the very best driver on the field is Verstappen. Period. Now I don't want to sound as a fanboy because I'm not.
I don't know.
Well, you're a Hamilton fanboy. You can't even stick with a team. You pick a team and you stay with them. You used to be a McLaren fanboy, now you're a Mercedes fanboy just because of Hamilton. So
No. They took away Ron Dennis. And it's my opinion that McLaren died with the departure of Ron Dennis.
Well, when I started enjoying Ferrari, Jean Todt was there and Ross Brawn are there. Neither are there, I'm still a Ferrari fan.
Ferrari was Ferrari, even before.
McLaren was McLaren even before. McLaren wasn't always Ron Dennis.
No, but they got successful under him.
No, they
all
got
the way from the late 80s.
You're still a flip flop. You changed teams.
I was a Hamilton fan, most of all.
Yeah,
And before that, Häkkinen.
Yeah, so you're a flip flop because you went with the driver. Who does that?
I do.
You're a flip flop. You shouldn't.
I don't go with the team. No.
Like, so what?
I follow a driver. But anyway, I don't know. He's good. He's very, very good. And you can see that Gasly is really nowhere near as good as Verstappen is. Nowhere near, like light years away. And I think that must be very crushing for him to realize. So, but it also shines a better light on Ricciardo, who could follow Max a lot better than.
I think the Renault itself is getting better.
No, but there was a smaller
seems
difference
to be
in the
driving a lot
qualifying.
better.
In the qualifying right now, there's like 6 tenths between, maybe 3 to 6 tenths between Verstappen and Gasly. But anyway, so let's not talk about it too long.
Well, there's one thing I want to talk about in the F1.
Well, we still have the British Grand Prix, but at least the Austrian Grand Prix was the most interesting race of the entire year so far.
Considering that we already have
We're already halfway.
5, 6,
over
7,
halfway actually.
8 Grand Prix before we actually had the fun Grand Prix.
It's pretty bad.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
It's
But what did you want to say?
well, before we switch to the Austrian Grand Prix, I want to talk about the upcoming Dutch Grand Prix, which already had its first bad press.
Yeah, with the tickets, but it's like I said, it's I don't know if that's a global thing, but I think it's a global thing. But basically, for any festival, anything where you can get tickets, where there are more people that want to go than there are tickets, tickets always get bought at the maximum amount with multiple computers, and then they go on the sort of, well, like, let's say gray market.
Yeah, for the Americans, something like Craigslist.
Yeah, basically.
eBay.
Yeah, Craigslist, eBay.
So what actually happened was the Grand Prix organizers held a lottery because they knew too many people were going to try and get tickets.
There's only place for 105,000 people.
Yeah. And about a million.
Per day.
And about a million. So 1/16 of the population of the Netherlands.
That's pretty impressive.
Tried to get tickets.
Yeah.
And so they had a little more than a million people applying for tickets. And but the lottery was yesterday for those tickets, and within minutes after the first tickets got sold or got announced, the people got their the emails telling them they'd gotten their ticket to the Grand Prix. The first were showing up on what we call Marketplace. Yep. And for ridiculous markups. So the first bad press already happened. A lot of people complained. Social media was on fire. So I found that very funny because I didn't put my name in because I honestly didn't.
I don't want to go.
I don't want to spend all those hours in traffic to get there.
No.
I wasn't. No. If I'll go to a Grand Prix this year, it'll be well. That's probably not going to happen. But it could be Spa. It's 1 September.
1st of September.
Yeah, the 1st of September, sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go. But I also don't understand why there's only place for 105,000 people.
There's not any more seats.
Build more seats.
I don't think they're allowed. Remember that the government just passed that new nitrogen law?
It's in the circuit of Zandvoort is in the middle of the dunes, right next to the beach, and it's somewhat of a protected.
Well, not alone.
It's like a nature preserve.
Yeah, but
it's a bit strange. It's a motor racing circuit in the middle of a nature reserve.
Yeah, but not only that, like.
And the access roads are really bad.
Yeah, and Zandvoort needs to comply with the new nitrogen law,
nitrogen
that was
regulations, yes.
Nitrogen regulations, which actually hamper the ability to quickly build, because you either have to negate the damage you do with the nitrogen, with nitrogen. No, not with nitrogen. The nitrogen that is released by construction either needs to be compensated or dealt with in any other way, so you're allowed to.
I.e. paid for.
No, it actually needs to be negated somehow. I don't know. It's a new law, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on about it. So.
I do wonder how much of an impact, how much of an environmental impact a Formula One weekend has over a whole year on a specific.
It's not that. The nitrogen actually, if you start building, the equipment blows out nitrogen, but the nitrogen that's stuck in the soil is also released. So if you have to dig, there's also nitrogen released from the soil. Yeah. And it's all that combined after the judge said that it needs to be compensated for, that actually causes the law to come into effect.
Yep.
So why did we click on the technical expert Anderson advises us to temper our expectations
I think
for
another
2021?
Yeah, I think another interesting topic, quick topic, is that is the new regulations for 2021 are starting to become more clear,
concrete.
Yeah, and they are going to make a lot of use of the ground effect. So instead of having a flat floor like we have now, they're gonna re-allow, because they banned it at some point in time. I can't really remember when.
We'll have to look that up for the next time.
They banned it. And they put the step in the floor of a Formula 1 car after Senna's accident, so that was a new regulation for 1995, I think, or maybe even inside 1994, I don't know. But anyway, if they do make use of the ground effect, it should be better. But this article that we see now is already saying that you shouldn't really have too much of an expectation. But I don't know. I think it's a step in the right way. We'll see. But they do look kind of cool. So quickly, the British Grand Prix, which was a boring race, to be honest. Hamilton did win a record 6th time. That was about the only newsworthy thing about it.
Dude, I can't wait for him to retire.
Will take a little while longer, I think.
I just can't watch that in his pubes. It annoys me so much.
Anyway, he got really lucky with a safety car, which screwed over Bottas. But in all honesty, I think he's gonna win the championship this year for 6th championship. But I don't know. That's probably it for Formula 1 for today. So what else? EVE Online?
Oh well, if you're into gaming, you're into MMOs. EVE Online did something that everybody had thought impossible. You have a normal chat channel which is called Loco, so in whatever space system, solar system you are, it normally shows whoever's in that system, and you can communicate with them through that chat channel. So it shows how many people are there, what their names are.
Yeah, what alliance they belong to, basically everything. You know everything about them.
And what they did is, in Wormhole Space that's not the case. You have the chat channel, but it shows nothing. And from Wormhole Space, what we know,
it only starts showing once people actually speak up.
Yeah.
Actually use the chat channel.
Yeah, that's it. So they did that in nullsec, which is where people can actually hold their own solar systems.
Yeah. So you never really know. You really never know who is with you in the same system if you're in wormhole space. Now they did that throughout zero security space, or nullsec as they call it, and it's quite a controversial thing because either you love it or you hate it. But the thing is with nullsec is it got really stale, really stale. It's as they call it, a huge blue donut, and blue means allies. So basically, every major alliance is allied to another major alliance.
Alliance of people.
An alliance of people, which are called coalitions, and these coalitions are very big. And basically, nobody really wants to fight. There is no incentive to fight, and there's just a lot of focus on PvE. And null security space is supposed to be, well, the name says it, zero security, null security space. There's no police force, and it should be very dangerous. The thing is, these large coalitions, they have intel channels, so they do intelligence gathering. If a enemy enters the system, then it gets reported into the intelligence channel. Everybody knows about it. Everybody can get their ships to safety, and now they've removed that. So perhaps it will enable Eve to really have that vibe of, okay, I just entered zero security space, or I live in zero security space. I don't know what's going to happen. I have to be careful. I have to use the tools that I have to make sure that I'm safe. And I think it will severely hamper, for example, doing PvE with carriers. Because, I don't know, it will be a lot more risky to do that now than it was. It is an experimental change, I've heard.
It is.
So you don't know if CCP is going to get so much flack for it that they decide to reverse the decision. But I hope that some things happen. But the question is, has anything happened yet?
Well, the first few days it appeared to have had a little bit of an effect. So more people died than usual, but the effect already seems to have died down. Because either people are not logging in anymore, or they've already adapted their intel channels to cover it. Like, there are ways to circumvent it, and there's actually
How?
Pixel reading.
Pixel reading?
Bots that pixel read.
Is
And then they read their overviews.
Isn't that bad?
How is CCP going to ban it? It's not interacting with the client. It's running separately. So technically there is no grounds on which CCP can ban it.
Yeah, true.
And well, botting seems to be down, so people using actual bots seems to be down, so that was a good effect.
Well, that's a good thing, at least.
But yeah, time will tell. To be honest, I haven't been paying too much of an attention because I've been trying to get more of this going lately.
Mm-hmm.
And it still hasn't gone the way I'd see it, and I'm being tormented here by a banner that is actually showing the camera I want to buy. And I can't afford it, so there's that. So yeah, no, I can't comment a little more on EVE Online, so I actually want to switch to another.
Another topic, yeah.
Another topic. So I've been testing two pedal boards for a couple of months now, so I can write a proper review about them. And so I've been doing it with a French surf brand, not sponsored. Again, I bought these myself because I wanted pedal boards and the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I got two of them, and it's a French brand called Gong. I've been actually quite enjoying them. So we've been using them on lakes, on the rivers, sea, and we've been recently using them on the sea, in the North Sea here. And I'm really pleasantly surprised by them, how stable they are, how much fun they are, how good a workout you can get. Well, if you're interested in paddleboards, you will already know that you can get a really good workout out of it. So I think I'm almost at the time that I can actually start making an actual review about them. So I hope to be able to do that soonish.
Yeah. I think that would be a fun video.
So a new video came up, by the way, or a new video, sorry. A new topic came up with inflatables, like the AdventureSportNetwork.com, which is a adventure sport website which I follow occasionally. They just made a list about the inflatable paddleboards they love, and it contains a couple of brands that people are familiar with, like Rad Paddle Company. They've introduced a new 9.6 feet compact, full-sized stand-up paddleboard, which is an ISOP as well, an inflatable. But the new thing about this is that it actually folds down to half the size of a normal ISOP. So the back you put it in can actually be smaller, and it's easier to carry around, because if you notice the backs that will be on my paddleboards, they're actually fairly large, like TV sized large, a small TV, like they're that big. And so that's actually really interesting, seeing that they fold down to such a compact size, which would make traveling with them a lot easier, which I'm really interesting, because I've been worried. I really want to travel with my paddleboards, and you're going to join me on that soon, by the way.
Sure.
I really want to travel more with them, but I'm worried that if I have to take a plane, that it costs me a lot of money, and even in a car, they take up your entire. My car actually takes up my entire boot.
Yep.
So that's something I'm not too happy about. So this is actually really interesting. That it's so compact. The problem is though, its MSRP is $1,900. Like, holy cow! That's a lot of money for a inflatable paddleboard. So it better be really stable. But I'm reading here in its quick review or recap, which is probably just a recap. It's only really stable on relatively flat water. That's not unheard of course. Most paddleboards are more stable on flat water, but that at that price tag, holy cow!
It's very well. You're paying for comfort, I guess.
Yeah, for travel comfort, that's what I'm suspecting, because the normal Reds are expensive, but not that expensive.
It probably also took a lot of R&D to get it so small, so they want to. I
to
guess
get it rolled up that small, yeah.
Yeah, they want to get a return on investment, I guess.
And there are a couple of other ones. They're talking here about the Tower Mermaid ISOP, which is a 10.4 feeder. It's really thick. It's a really thick one, so it's a really stable platform, especially for a novice. Price actually really good. Looks like it's $700 MSRP, so that's actually not bad at all. It's a great all-around for everyday user. It's a 2+1 fin, so I'm not entirely sure about that, because I think if you're going to use it as a beginner, you don't need that many fins anyway. But I might return on that talk. Actually, one that I found really interesting is this one, the iRocker All-Round 10 feet wide package. There's an extra wide one, an extra stable one, which is at a really good price at $600 MSRP. So who knows, maybe that's a good one for our next topic. So, well, that's a little bit on the ISOPs, which I was able to locate quickly. There was some news snowboarding wise, but I actually had saved, but I forgot where. But this is actually an interesting topic I just found.
Early season weather forecast released by
for the 2020 winter prediction.
Yeah.
This is actually, I think it's has something to do with the Olympics, because the Winter Olympics are in 2020 as well. So, wait, what did it say here? Oh, it's just winter season. Well, what are they? It's North America prediction. That's not really interesting for us. We might get back into this, but it's not really interesting for us to talk about right now, since we're European. There was some. I should have saved it again, but I forgot to save it again. Stupid. Alright, so that's not really interesting. Skateboarding, anything interesting? Adidas working with having a Beastie Boys collaboration. Don't know if that's interesting to anybody. It's a skating shoe collaboration between Adidas and Beastie Boys.
I don't know. They look kind of nice.
You think they look nice?
Yeah.
Really? Honestly, I don't. Let's show the people. There we go. So, let's click this away. So this is the look of the Beastie Boys Adidas shoe, endorsed by Beastie Boys. You really find?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I find of it. Okay, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That backside.
I like the coloring that they chose.
Okay.
Yep.
So, if you ever watch this video, let us know in the comments what you think of it.
Yep.
All right. What else? What else do we have to talk about for today?
Did you get all parts for your bike?
Yeah, they all got in. So
you have everything now. You're complete.
Yeah, I can start building it.
So when are you starting?
The moment I can sit on my knees again.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I just cannot really bend my knee that far. Bend the knee.
Yeah, we don't.
And it's still really painful if I do that. So, and you need to be crouched all the time. So there's a lot of pressure on your joint.
Yeah. I know a nice topic for a little bit later. But go on.
Oh no, that's about it. So I'm really looking forward to starting to it and rebuilding it. So I only shot a little bit of the disassembly of the front side on the front end. So I haven't really done anything since, because the day after, a couple days after, I fell down the stairs.
Yeah. Great timing.
It was a horrible time, and I'm still so angry about it. Oh, Adidas Skateboarding presents. What's this? A new video. Yeah, we're not gonna discuss that. Nothing against it, but
so Comic-Con. Did you hear the Seth Rogen burn?
Yeah, I did hear. Now we're talking about kneelers. That's actually an interesting segue. We found a good segue to a new topic.
Yeah, that was.
So for those that don't know, there was a Game of Thrones panel at Comic-Con, as you could have guessed, and the writers didn't show up for they cancelled for mysterious reasons.
Well, mysterious or very obvious reasons.
And the cast was there, and even though the cast had seemed to have been cryptically disenfranchised by the developments of the season.
I think Conleth Hill said something like, well, I don't regret starting the petition.
That was a joke.
It was a joke, but I do think all these actors, they are of course under contract with HBO.
They're still under contract. They're not allowed to talk.
They're not allowed to talk negatively
about it
in any way. What's funny is they said it was a media-led hate campaign, but the mother company of HBO basically owns half the media, so that was pretty strange. They didn't allow there was no Q&A session.
Yeah, which was really weird.
Which they said was down due to time constraints, which obviously is
Yeah, well, the entire Comic-Con session was weird because the private interview
Was the same.
exactly the same
The
as
same questions
as the
same,
public one. Yeah.
So it was scripted from
which is weird, which is really weird. But apparently in another
normally they're very off the cuff kind of
on Comic-Con,
panels,
which
and
is
they always
actually-
were.
Well, which
for-
is actually where Seth Rogen comes in because he was completely off the cuff.
He
of
was
course
very off the cuff.
he-
He was like,
he has nothing to do with Game of Thrones, but at a different panel he actually spoke up about it, and it was such an amazing burn. And Seth Rogen's basically the internet's hero right now
he is.
because he was so like so open about it. You can see he was actually a fan and really disappointed by it. And well, if you haven't seen it, look it up because it's. I don't want to spoil too much because it's actually a really good burn and worth the watch. It's just a couple of minutes. You can find it on YouTube easily. Just Google it and you or insert in YouTube search bar and you will have
Seth Rogen, Game of Thrones. You'll find it.
Yeah, you'll definitely find it, and you'll be happy you did.
But I'm happy. The main thing why I thought it was really interesting is that there's somebody within that community. I think usually everybody in that community kind of hushes a little bit when they don't speak negatively about one another all that much.
Not if they work together.
Not if they work together, but and especially not if they are up and coming people, because it's gonna ruin your career.
It definitely could.
But he's in a position where, who cares? I can just say it, and I'm glad that it's not just the fans. It's not just the fans. The armchair, like the armchair generals that people always complain about. That they say, oh, they always think they can do better and stuff. But actually, somebody within the industry saying, come on, this is stupid.
Well, if we're talking about Comic-Con for a lifestyle part in this LAN show, the other really big news on this Comic-Con wasn't Game of Thrones or Seth Rogen, which definitely hold the spotlight. But the second biggest announcement was the next trailer of the soon-to-be released new Star Trek series.
Okay, I completely missed that. I'm not very big on Star Trek.
Well,
not at all.
Sir Patrick Stewart is returning to his role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in this case.
In Picard, the movie called Picard, right?
No, it's the actual new show.
There's a actual new show.
That's
coming.
the new show. Star Trek Picard is the new show.
I thought it was a movie.
No, it's not. It's a new show. 10-episode season has been announced.
So it's like a mini-series.
For now. But 10 episodes is pretty normal nowadays for shows. Like Game of Thrones was around 10, Star Trek Discovery is around 10, Sabrina, Stranger Things is at 8, Stranger Things, which by the way, you should watch. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, it was really good.
Or you're just missing out on life, basically. So no, that was announced, but it was also announced who would be in the series. So Captain Jean-Luc Picard is now Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, retired. He will not be in Starfleet. He will not be returning to Starfleet, which opens up a whole other dynamic to the series, because for the first time you're not watching a Star Trek that's from the viewpoint of a Starfleet officer, or at least not anymore. And of course, which was I think where people went crazy, was the return of iconic characters of previous shows.
Like?
Lieutenant Commander Data. From Star Trek The Next Generation. So
played by the same actor?
Yep, Brent Spinner will be playing...
I thought he always did that very well.
So he'll be back, and another very iconic character of the worst of all the shows, according to people. Voyager, 7 of 9, will also have a role, which is the Borg lady that was rescued.
Yeah. Yeah.
which will also be returning for Star Trek Picard. Jonathan Frakes will be returning in his role as Riker, although it hasn't been shown how much of a large role any of these characters will have, but it seems that Data will play an integral part, at least, from the trailer. So go watch the trailer if you're interested in Star Trek stuff. And Deanna Troi, the ship's counselor for Enterprise in the Next Generation, will also be making an appearance. So that was actually really big news. And people are really excited about it. It looks good. I think most people are just really excited about the fact that it could be Sir Patrick Stewart's last hurrah on the big screen or on a big television show.
Yeah.
I don't see he's getting there in age. So
How old is he now?
let's find out. He's
one of the veterans, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, and he's genuinely seems like a good guy. So people tend to
79 years old, born on the 13th of July, 1940.
Yeah, 79. 79. Holy cow.
Yep.
So, well, I'm actually personally looking forward to this because I'm a big Patrick Stewart fan. Always have been since Star Trek. I think he's of course a Shakespearean actor, and it shows in all his performances since that since the Next Generation aired. And I just like it. Like I like him as an actor, and that's why I'm excited about Star Trek Picard. Okay, what else can we talk about, or are we gonna wrap it up?
So when is the NFL season starting?
NFL season starting 8th of September. Well, the regular season 8th, or the first games. Let's check it out. Schedule. The Hall of Fame game is actually played when? The 1st of August, which is the Hall of Fame game.
That's very soon, which is good because I miss watching American football.
Well, the Hall of Fame game is basically an exhibition game, so
but it's still fun to watch. It's still American football.
They don't play their starters generally, or they start their starters and then switch to second or third stringers. So it's really not that exciting. But let's go to the regular season, which starts at
Thursday, September 5th.
Yeah, on September 5th. Well, I thought 8th. Sunday the 8th is when all the other teams go out again.
Packers versus the Bears. And the Eagles
will
on
be starting
Sunday.
against the Redskins. It's a home game. They say Eagles start at home. Where I'm an Eagles fan, so I made him an Eagles fan. He had no choice in that matter.
Nope.
But first, all the teams have to go through their camps, training camps. So they're starting right about next week, I think. Or and then they'll go into the preseason. So all the preseason games are starting as well. It's also not very interesting preseason. It's just to see how everybody's doing, how the teams are looking, and the preseason starts and the 8th of August, so normal preseason games. So NFL's coming up as well.
Nice.
So I'm happy about that as well. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here for today.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything
that we could
think of.
Yeah, we could think of right now.
We'll try and come up with a.
We'll be better next time. But I'm really happy about the quality of the image right now. I'm hoping the sound is not too disturbed. But it was really hard.
We'll check.
Was really hard to test while going live.
Yep.
So we'll check it after the show, and if it's really bad, we might upload it anyways. But we'll just do another one in a shorter time span instead of the 2 weeks. We want to do them every bi-weekly. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, if you ever watch it, please press like. If you dislike it, well, you can press that as well, I guess.
Yep.
And if you like us in general, just subscribe. And thanks for watching the LAN
Yep.
Show.